Your heart is racing. Your hands are shaking. You need to say something in English, but your mind just went completely blank. You know the words, you studied them, but right now, in this moment, you can't remember a single one.
I still get this sometimes. Just last month, I had to give a presentation in Spanish to a room full of native speakers. I'd practiced for hours, but the moment I stood up, my throat went dry, my voice cracked, and I forgot my opening line. I just stood there in silence for what felt like forever.
Oh no! What did you do?
I used the exact tricks we were teaching you today, and in about 10 seconds, I got my confidence back and delivered the whole presentation.
And that's what we're teaching you right now. 5 simple tricks you can use the moment you feel nervous speaking English. These work in any situation, and you can start using them today.
I'm Paul.
And I'm Olivia. Welcome to English Together.
Okay, let's talk about what's actually happening when you feel nervous speaking English. What does it feel like in your body?
For me, my chest gets tight, my voice gets shaky, and my brain just stops working. Like, I know what I want to say in my native language, but I can't access the English words.
Exactly. And here's what you need to understand. This is not an English problem. This is an anxiety problem. Your brain goes into fight or flight mode, and when that happens, the part of your brain that handles language basically shuts down temporarily.
So it's not that you don't know English, it's that your brain is too stressed to access it.
Exactly. And this happens to everyone, native speakers, advanced learners, even professional public speakers. The difference is that confident speakers have tricks to calm their nervous system down quickly so they can access their language skills again.
And that's what we're teaching today.
Right. We call it the SPEAK method. 5 tricks that spell the word speak. And the beauty of this acronym is that you can literally remember it when you're about to speak English and you're feeling nervous. Here's what it stands for. S is slow down, a physical pacing trick. P is pause power, using strategic silence. E is easy start, low pressure conversation openers. A is anchor phrases, your go-to safety phrases. And K is kind self-talk, mental reframe techniques.
In the next 18 minutes, you'll learn exactly how to use each trick, when to use them, and why they work. By the end, you'll have a complete toolkit for handling speaking anxiety.
And we'll share some pretty embarrassing stories about times we didn't use these tricks and what happened. All right, let's start with S, slow down. This is the most powerful physical trick for anxiety.
What does slow down mean exactly?
When you're nervous, your body speeds up. Your heart beats faster, you breathe faster, and you talk faster. And when you talk fast, you make more mistakes, which makes you more nervous. It's a cycle.
Oh, so slowing down breaks that cycle.
Exactly. When you intentionally slow down your speaking, your nervous system gets the signal that everything's okay. Your heart rate drops, your breathing steadies, and your brain can access words again.
Okay, but how do you actually slow down when you're panicking?
3 ways. Trick 1, speak at 70% of your normal speed. It'll feel weird to you, but it sounds perfectly normal to listeners. Trick 2, emphasize each word slightly. Instead of, I want to talk about the project, all rushed together, say, I want to talk about the project, with tiny micro pauses between words. Trick 3, take a breath between sentences. Don't rush from one sentence to the next. Breathe.
Can you show me what this sounds like? Like, give me a before and after?
Sure. Here's nervous, fast speaking. Hi, my name is Paul, and I'm here to talk about the quarterly results, and I think we did really well, and I want to show you the numbers. Now, here's the same thing, slowed down. Hi, my name is Paul, and I'm here to talk about the quarterly results. I think we did really well, and I want to show you the numbers.
Wow, the second one sounds so much more confident.
Right? And here's the amazing part. You're saying the exact same words. The only difference is pacing, but it completely changes how confident you sound and how calm you feel.
Okay, what's P? Pause power.
This is about using silence strategically. Most nervous speakers are terrified of silence, so they fill every gap with and like, but confident speakers use pauses intentionally.
So pausal makes you sound more confident.
Yes, pauses make you sound thoughtful, not nervous. When you pause before answering a question, it shows you're thinking carefully. When you pause in the middle of a sentence, it creates emphasis.
Give me examples.
Okay, here are 3 powerful pause moments. Pause moment 1. After a question. Someone asks, "What do you think about this idea?" Instead of rushing to answer, pause for 2 seconds, then say, "That's a good question. I think..." Pause moment 2. When you need to think of a word. Instead of saying, just pause in silence for 1 to 2 seconds. Your brain will find the word. Pause moment 3. After making a point. Say your sentence, pause for 2 seconds. Let it land. Then continue.
So you're replacing filler words with silence?
Exactly. And here's a personal story. When I first started teaching, I was so nervous during presentations that I would say after every 3 words. A colleague recorded me and played it back, and I was horrified. I sounded so unsure.
What did you do?
I practiced pausing instead. Every time I felt the urge to say I would just stop talking for 1 second. It felt awkward at first, but on video, it looked completely natural. Within a month, I'd cut my count by 90%.
That's amazing. So silence isn't awkward, it's powerful.
Exactly. And here's the cultural insight. In English-speaking cultures, especially in business, pausing before you speak is seen as thoughtful and confident, not slow or uncertain. All right, E, easy start. This is about how you begin conversations when you're nervous.
What's an easy start?
It's a low-pressure way to begin speaking that doesn't require complex grammar or vocabulary. When you're nervous, your brain can't handle complicated sentences, so you need simple, reliable openers.
Like what?
Here are 5 easy start phrases you can use in any situation. Easy start 1. Thanks for having me. Meetings, interviews, presentations. Easy start 2. That's a good question. When asked something. Easy start 3. Let me think about that for a second. Buys you time. Easy start 4. I appreciate you asking. Shows engagement. Easy start 5. Here's what I'm thinking. Casual, confident opener.
Oh, so these are like warm-up phrases. They get you talking without pressure.
Exactly. They're easy to say, they sound professional, and they give your brain a few seconds to warm up before you have to say the complex part.
I love that because I think the hardest part is just getting the first words out.
Yes, once you're talking, momentum builds. But that first sentence is the hardest, especially when you're nervous. So make it as easy as possible.
What if you're introducing yourself and you're nervous? What's an easy start for that?
Great question. Instead of trying to give your whole life story, just say, "Hi, I'm name. Nice to meet you." Then pause. Let the other person respond. You don't have to fill the space with your entire resume.
So you're starting small and building up.
Exactly.
Okay. What's A? Anchor phrases.
Anchor phrases are your safety net. Phrases you can always fall back on when your brain freezes. Think of them like a life raft when you're drowning in anxiety.
So these are phrases you memorize ahead of time.
Exactly. You practice them so much that even when you're panicking, you can say them automatically.
What are some examples?
Here are the 5 anchor phrases everyone should have ready. Anchor 1. Could you give me a moment to think when your mind goes blank? Anchor 2. That's a great question. Let me make sure I answer it well. Buys time. Anchor 3. Could you repeat that, please, when you didn't understand? Anchor 4. Let me rephrase that when you mess up. Anchor 5. I want to make sure I explain this clearly. Shows thoughtfulness.
Oh, so when you panic, instead of freezing completely, you just grab one of these phrases.
Yes, and here's why they work. They're not about the content of what you're discussing. They're about managing the conversation so you can use them in any situation.
Can you give me a real example of when you use one?
Sure. Let's say you're in a job interview and they ask, Where you see yourself in 5 years? Your mind goes blank. Instead of freezing in silence, you say, "That's a great question. Let me make sure I answer it well." Pause, breathe, think. I see myself. See, the anchor phrase bought you 5 seconds to think, and it made you sound thoughtful, not panicked.
I love that because I think the hardest part is just getting the first words out.
Okay, pause for 1 second. We've just given you 4 tricks from the speak method. But here's the thing. You need to practice saying these phrases out loud, or they won't come naturally when you're actually nervous.
So right now, we're going to practice 3 anchor phrases together. Say them out loud with us, even if you're alone. Ready?
First phrase, could you give me a moment to think? Say it out loud. Next, that's a great question. Let me make sure I answer it well. Say it. Last one, I want to make sure I explain this clearly. Say it out loud right now. Did you do it? If you said all 3 out loud, you're building muscle memory. That's how these phrases become automatic when anxiety hits and you need them most.
All right, let's finish with the last trick.
The final trick is K, kind self-talk. This is the most important one because it addresses what's happening in your head.
What do you mean by self-talk?
Self-talk is the running commentary in your mind while you're speaking. For nervous speakers, it's usually really harsh.
Like what?
Like, I sound so stupid, everyone can tell my English is bad, I'm going to embarrass myself, why did I even try to speak, they're all judging me.
Oh my God, yes. I say those exact things to myself.
And here's the problem. When you're saying that to yourself, you can't focus on the conversation. You're too busy attacking yourself.
So what's kind self-talk?
It's replacing those harsh thoughts with supportive ones. Here are the replacements. Harsh. I sound so stupid. Kind. I'm doing my best, and that's enough. Harsh. Everyone can tell my English is bad. Kind. I'm speaking a second language, which is impressive. Harsh. I'm going to embarrass myself. Kind. Even if I make a mistake, I can handle it. Harsh. They're all judging me. Kind. Most people are focused on themselves, not critiquing my English.
But what if those negative thoughts are automatic? Like they just pop up?
They will. You can't stop anxious thoughts from appearing, but you can notice them and replace them. The moment you catch yourself thinking, I sound stupid, mentally say, stop, I'm doing my best.
Does that actually work?
Yes, but it takes practice. And here's a personal story. I had a student from Brazil named Lucas who was so nervous about speaking that he would literally shake during our lessons. I asked him what he was thinking, and he said, I'm thinking that you're judging me and that I'll never be good enough.
Oh, that's heartbreaking.
Right? So I had him practice kind self-talk. Every lesson before we started, he had to say out loud, I'm learning and it's okay to make mistakes. Paul is here to help, not judge. It felt silly at first, but after a few weeks, his anxiety dropped dramatically.
Because he was training his brain to be supportive instead of critical.
Exactly. And here's the truth. There's no shame in being nervous. Even native speakers get nervous when they have to speak in high-pressure situations. The difference is how you talk to yourself about it.
Now, I want to share a story about what happens when you don't use these tricks. When I first moved to the US, I had a phone call with my bank to set up my account. I was so nervous that I talked really fast, didn't pause, and when I didn't understand something, I just said yes without asking them to repeat it.
Oh no, what happened?
I ended up signing up for services I didn't need, paying extra fees, and being too embarrassed to call back and fix it. If I had just slowed down, paused, and used an anchor phrase like, could you repeat that, please? I would have saved myself so much money and stress.
That's such a good example because anxiety doesn't just affect how you feel, it affects the actual outcome of conversations.
Exactly. And that's why these tricks are so important. They're not just about feeling better, they're about communicating better.
All right, we're about 15 minutes in and I want to tell you something.
We've taught over 60,000 students the Speak method, and the number one thing they tell us is, I didn't realize I could control my anxiety in the moment. I thought I just had to push through and suffer.
But these tricks give you actual tools. You're not just white-knuckling your way through nervousness. You're actively calming your nervous system.
Exactly. And in our community, we've noticed that the learners who use these tricks don't just feel less anxious, they actually improve faster. Because when you're calm, your brain can learn. When you're panicking, it can't.
So managing anxiety isn't separate from learning English. It's part of learning English.
Exactly. All right, let's recap everything with the Speak method. S stands for slow down. Speak at 70% of your normal speed. Emphasize each word with tiny micropauses. Take a breath between sentences. Remember, slow speakers sound confident, not uncertain.
Slowing down calms your nervous system and makes you sound more professional.
P stands for pause power. Pause for 2 seconds after someone asks you a question. Replace with 1 to 2 seconds of silence. Pause after making an important point. Remember, silence makes you sound thoughtful, not slow.
Pauses are powerful, not awkward.
E stands for easy start, low pressure openers. Thanks for having me. That's a good question. Let me think about that for a second. I appreciate you asking. Here's what I'm thinking.
Start simple to build momentum.
A equals anchor phrases, your safety net. Could you give me a moment to think? That's a great question. Let me make sure I answer it well. Could you repeat that, please? Let me rephrase that. I want to make sure I explain this clearly.
Memorize these now so they're automatic when you panic.
K equals kind self-talk, mental reframe. Replace I sound stupid with I'm doing my best. Replace everyone's judging me with most people aren't focused on my English. Replace I'm going to embarrass myself with even if I make a mistake, I can handle it. Notice harsh thoughts and replace them immediately.
How you talk to yourself changes how you feel and how you perform.
And here's your homework this week. Pick one trick from the Speak method and focus on it. Don't try to use all 5 at once. Just practice one.
If you tend to talk fast when nervous, practice slow down. If you say a lot, practice pause power. If your mind goes blank, memorize the anchor phrases. If you're harsh on yourself, practice kind self-talk.
Start with one, build confidence, then add the others.
All right, we covered so much today, and we are so proud of you for watching all the way through.
If this lesson helps you, please give it a like right now. It helps other nervous English learners find it when they need it most. And if you haven't already, subscribe to English Together. We post a new practical English lesson every single week.
Now here's our question for you. What physical symptoms do you get when you're nervous about speaking English? Maybe your hands shake, or your voice cracks, or your mind goes completely blank. Maybe you start sweating, or your heart races, or maybe you talk super fast and can't stop.
I told you about my Spanish presentation where my throat went dry and I forgot my opening line. Olivia told you about her bank call disaster. Now it's your turn. Tell us in the comments, what happens to your body when you're nervous about speaking English? And which trick from the Speak method are you going to try first? We read every single comment and will reply to as many as we can. Plus, knowing other people feel the same way helps everyone feel less alone.
And remember, feeling nervous doesn't mean you're bad at English. It means you care about communicating well. That's actually a good thing.
The Speak method gives you 5 tools: slow down, pause power, easy start, anchor phrases, and kind self-talk. You don't have to use them all at once. Start with one.
Practice it in low-pressure situations first. Then, when a high-pressure moment comes, you'll have trained your brain to use it automatically.
You've got this. Your anxiety is manageable, your English is good enough, and you deserve to speak confidently. Thanks for learning with us today.
See you in the next video.